Hello guys, it's Mr. Maximo here again, Vinny Sandhu for the European Cricket Network with another match preview for a European Cricket Series match. And this is a preview for match 2 of the European Cricket Series Rome beginning on the 2nd of November. And as part of our Powerplay Monday, I'll be previewing every single match from the first day of the tournament, the first day of Group A action. And I'll do the same on Thursday this week, a Powerplay Thursday for the 4 new teams being introduced in Group B. But match 2 sees Royal Roma taking on Padova in their first appearances in the tournament. And this game will begin Monday morning at 10:15 a.m. GMT, which is 11:15 in the morning in Central Europe, and is 3:45 p.m. in India. You can catch all the action on FanCode if you are on the subcontinent, or you can catch it on SportsFlick if you're not. And for a limited time, you can get 50% off your first month with the promo code CRICKET. Just go to sportsflickglobal.com, and you can also download the SportsFlick app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So we're really excited about this partnership with SportsFlick. It's going to bring 1,000 T10 cricket matches to you over the next 12 months. So thanks to our partners there at SportsFlick. And just a reminder, if you don't already, why don't you follow us on social media? Because as I always say, there is so much happening in the world of European cricket. For all the extra info on these teams and players, or any European cricket series, you can just go to europeancricket.com. You can follow us at European Cricket, or you can follow me at Mr. Maximo. And thanks again for all the wonderful messages that I get every day from people all around the world that are enjoying the European Cricket Series. Well, let's have a look at what's happening in Rome. We have 4 matches every day there. The first 3 days are Group A. The second 3 days are Group B. Then finally on Sunday, we will have 2 semi-finals and a final. So this is match 2 of the tournament. But of course, the first match will start at 1:45 p.m. in India. And the games are 2-hour time slots, of course, because they're T10 cricket matches. And don't we love it here on the European Cricket Network? Well, let's get to this preview. Match 2 between Royal Roma and Padova. Both these teams making an entrance to the tournament in match 2. And we do have some likely lineups for you. Royal Roma will be led by the all-rounder Rajvinder Singh, with Mubarak Hussain to be behind the stumps for them, while for Padova, Nuwan Smira will be their captain and Nisanka Kuda their wicketkeeper. Now, we're going to introduce these 2 teams, and for a bit on their form, I'd like to introduce Michael McCann for a bit extra on the 2 teams, Royal Roma and Padova. And Michael, welcome back to the show. And who do you like? Tell us the previous form of these 2 teams, Royal Roma and Padova.
Thanks, Vin. So these are probably the 2 lesser fancy teams in Group A. But as we know, T10 is eminently unpredictable. It only takes 1 batsman to have their never-mind day. They only need a few moments in the sun where it goes well for them and a bit of luck, and vice versa, a bowler who everything comes together for, and it all looks so different. Padova have been pretty weak this season. They finished 3rd in a 4-team group in the Coppa Italia that was considered one of the slightly easier groups in terms of general seedings and opinions of the teams around the Italian cricket circuit. And they finished 2nd from bottom as well in their T20 Championship group. And Padova have also got 3 key players missing from this tournament, unavailable. So that will really hurt them, all due to injury concerns. And I expect that the combination of that relatively poor form beforehand, combined with those absentees, all 3 of which would get in their best 11, is going to leave them probably coming into this pool as the weakest of the 4 teams. As for Royal Roma, well, they were founded only in 2018. They've been outsiders on the Italian cricket circuit as well. They've had 4 losses in T20 comps this season and no wins. So this is very much the 2 sides who are, on paper, and that's a terrible sporting cliche, and I hate it when people use it, but that's all we can go on right now. That and information from speaking to sources, we would expect are the 2 unlikely teams in terms of qualification out of Pool A. It kind of goes without saying that if either of them is going to spring a surprise, they're going to need to win this game. Otherwise, it's a big uphill struggle. They've got to play Kingsgrove Milan, who are one of the favourites for the tournament, never mind the pool. And they've also got to go and play Royal Palma after this, who have only been around a couple of years, similarly to Royal Roma, but have made a much greater impression on Italian cricket than Royal Roma in a shorter period of time. So this is a crucial game for both teams. If they're going to harbour realistic qualification hopes, they've got to be winning it.
Definitely, in a crucial game straight out the gate, of course, their first game in the tournament. And yes, Royal Roma have struggled a bit in short form cricket. They have not had a win in 4 matches in T20s this year. And like you said, Padova as well haven't been great in short form either. They're 2-6 in T20. So both these teams have struggled. I do think that the outs for Padova that you did allude to in your commentary there will be a significant factor. But let's move along to Mr. Maximo's 11 to watch. Hopefully you find this information useful, particularly if you're participating in some fantasy cricket. And I have super highlighted for Royal Roma, Mubarak Hussain. Now he's likely to open the batting, and I think he's one of the best batsmen in the tournament. He's had a really good season. He's passed 50 10 times, including 2 centuries. And I've also highlighted some other players for Royal Roma. I've got Dharam Kumar in there, who likely open the batting as well. Mohammed Bilal, he's a very handy cricketer. I've got an all-rounder, Rajvinder Singh, who I think will bat 3. I've got Shoaib Awan, who's a big hitter. They call him the king of sixes, so watch out for Shoaib Awan. And finally, Umar Shahzad, who's a likely left-arm opening bowler, and he swings the ball into the right-hand batsman. I know that he took a hat-trick in the first over of one match in the Italian competition this year, so watch out for him. I've got some players for Padova as well. I've super highlighted their captain, Nuwan Samira, who's likely to open the batting and the bowling. I think he's probably their best player. I've also highlighted some other players for Padova, Damit Kasala, who's a very versatile cricketer. He can bat number 3. He can open the bowling with his left armers. He's only 18 years of age. He's an even wicket keep if required. And I've got some other players for Padova, Rishan Kavinda. He's likely to open the batting, as well as another youngster, Akash Handun, and Radhika Suren, the leg spinner, rounding out my 11 to watch. What are your thoughts on my 11 to watch today, Michael?
I have to say it's pretty similar to what I would have gone for. I think a 6-5 split in favour of Royal Roma would seem the way to go if you're trying to maximise your fantasy points out of this one, because they're probably marginally the favourites, only because of those 3 key absentees for Padova, who will be incredibly dependent on Nuwan Samira. Worth saying that Samira is comfortably their top run scorer and wicket taker this season, which gives you an idea of just how dependent the entire Padova team is often on Samira. Just a name to watch out for, who I'm looking forward to seeing bowl as well, who you dropped in there. Akash Handun. He's got a very unusual bowling action. That's all I'm going to say for now. You need to tune into the stream on Sportsflick or on Fancode to see it for yourself. But
yeah,
I would
absolutely
recommend that you do so. And Radhika Suren, who you've got in your 11, he's a very experienced cricketer in a very young Padova side, who bats often in the middle order. Despite being a bowler, he tends to bat floating anywhere between 4 sometimes, or sort of 6 to 7.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, and a leg spinner in this format, and he is a good wily leg spinner, can be hard to pick up. Leg spinners do tend to go for runs, but they do tend to pick up wickets, and he really is the archetypal leg spinner. He's got the highest economy rate in this Padova team across both this season and last season, but he also has the best strike rate. So things tend to happen when he's bowling, and he does tend to get a bat despite being listed on Dream 11 as a bowler. So he, as a sort of money ball selection, would be one that I'm particularly keen on. And in the similar way, Shoaib Awan, who you highlighted, you've already said it, but he actually has hit a bigger proportion of his runs through sixes than anyone else in all of Italian domestic cricket across the last 2 seasons. And that is over a certain qualifying rate. Obviously, if you've hit sort of 12 runs, that doesn't count. It's only if you've scored a minimum of 150 runs, which he has. So he tends to be entertaining. And again, he often actually gets sent up to open for them. And with 3 over power plays in T10, there's every chance they might, Royal Roma, decide to do that again. So those are always good ones. If you can find a bowler that's likely to bat high up the order, that can be really, really handy.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd like to see Shoaib up the top of the order. I do feel like they'll probably go with Mubarak Hussain and Dharam Kumar up the top there. But I think Shoaib Awan particularly maybe at 3. But of course, they do have some other matches in which to experiment with that top order. But they don't get too many, of course, because they only play over the first 3 days. But they do play each other twice in this group. So they will play 6 matches in the group phase before they move on to the semi-finals. But I think there's some really good, interesting points there. That's why they call Shoaib Awan the king of sixes, and he is playing for Royal Roma. So, of course, we're very interested in this match, and you mentioned how crucial it is in determining how these teams go and their start of their tournament. Now, it's time to get to prediction time. And I'm not sure if you agree with me in this one, but you may do, you may not. But I kind of it was along the same lines as you, Michael. I think that Padova probably would have been favourites if they had their full squad, but they do have some unavailabilities and outs for this series. And for that reason, I am leaning towards Royal Roma to win this one. And I put Mubarak Hussain to be the star player. Like I said, he'll open the batting. And I think he's one of the best batsmen in the tournament because he has scored 2 centuries this year and made plenty of 50s. Now, I know that doesn't always count for much in T10 cricket where you do have to kind of go from the get-go, but I do think he's a good choice for captain or vice-captain of a fantasy team. What's your prediction, Michael?
I would concur with the match prediction. I would, oddly, go with Royal Roma to win the game, but I would pick Nuwan Samira as my player to watch. The reason being that it's rare that you see someone in a team who opens the batting and opens the bowling. He definitely gets value for his match fee, to use a village cricket phrase. He, I'm not sure whether he does the tees and he has a go at wicket keeping as well, but I've been told by people that he doesn't actually keep, but he certainly bowls very well. I'd be shocked if he doesn't bowl 2 overs at the top of the power play, which, while you can go for runs, also presents wicket-taking opportunities. He's a very good, dependable batsman and comfortably their biggest run scorer. So I'm going to go for a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with Royal Roma to win.
That's fair.
The losses of Sampath Fernando and Saya Kodakara, who are 2 of the most dependable Padova players who are on that sort of pedestal of their key men, up there with Nuwan Samira, are out, and they're out for the whole tournament, injured. So they're big misses. But I still think it's worth backing Nuwan Samira as an individual player to score well in this match, whilst quite probably ending up on the losing side.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is possible. And look, we know that he's a good player. He has experience touring for the Italy A team. He went to the Netherlands in 2016, so he's a very experienced cricketer. And like you say, he will feature with bat and ball. We might actually see my star player and your star player going head-to-head, of course, if Samira opens the bowling to Mubarak Hussain. So I'm waiting for that showdown in this one. But Michael, I'd just like to say thanks again. We'll see you for match 3 on Powerplay Monday. So thanks for your input.
No problem, my pleasure.
And just a reminder to all of you out there, if you're watching around the world, if you're outside of the subcontinent, you can watch these games on SportsFlick. Just go to sportsflickglobal.com and make sure you cash in that 50% of your first month offer. Just use the promo code CRICKET. But for now, this is Vinny Sandu, Mr. Maximo for the European Cricket Network, saying enjoy the game. We'll see you next time on European Cricket.